Well, Brian, I was driving around the streets of Newport here, and this just grabbed me because I've never seen one. This is a 1949?
49, yep.
Dodge Carryall?
Dodge Carryall. There's
Woody.
Yep.
I mean, it is so tall.
They're extremely big for the Woody.
And the windshield, this thing it almost is cartoonish. The windshield is so big, split because they weren't doing curved glass at the time.
Absolutely
apparently.
not, no.
So you pretty much did this restoration.
I did it pretty well. We took it down to a bare frame sitting in the garage. I questioned what I'd done once I took it down that far, but yeah, we built it ground up and probably have 2,500 hours in rebuilding it. And
how long? I mean, what period of time?
it took me 2 years to gather parts, and then it took us about 3 years for the full restoration. By the time working with our wood guy and all that to get it back together, about 3 years.
Well, like I say, I mean, I have never seen one, so there can't be many of them around.
No, there's very few. There's really no direct book saying how many are left, but probably less than 10, especially the 49s. They made this body style basically for about 3 years, that from a big school bus using this nose down to this being the smallest. And there's 3 different wood manufacturers. So
really?
So what Dodge would do is they would send this off, and they would have different wood manufacturers depending on where the person is in the United States. Would make it. So Campbell was a wood manufacturer. Cantrell made them, and there was one other I can't think of. But there was 3 wood manufacturers that made the wooden bodies, and there you can see a little difference between each one. This is out of New York, actually, is where the wood was put onto this body.
Well, you mentioned this. They use this for a school bus because that's what it looks like. The front of this thing looks like a school bus.
Yeah, this one was actually sold military.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and was actually originally painted. There was a few that left the manufacturer painted. After it was done with its military life, it ended up in Chicago and was used for transportation between a train station and a local hotel into the 60s, and was then purchased by another gentleman that I purchased it from that had it for about 50 years.
Wow. There's a lot of these things have, I mean, it's really almost a wood applique, but this thing is like really wood. Is that true?
It is all wood. On these, most of the Woodies had a steel floor pan and some steel structure in it. This, from the windshield back, floor and all, is 100% wood, except for the fenders and the running boards.
Well, that's probably another reason there aren't many of them.
They just, once the floor started,
that was it.
You could fix a piece of wood on top, but once the floor is gone, you'll lose the structure of the vehicle.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. But I mean, I guess you'd call it a headliner. I don't know what you call it. The roof.
It is the roof.
It's like a canoe.
Yep.
It reminds me of a canoe. It's just gorgeous.
It's 100% wood ribbed, and then it's got some oilcloth in between, and then it's got the water barrier on the outside, and
that was it, huh?
And this particular one, we're probably 90% all original wood.
That's amazing. I mean, because that was the death of Woodies, so they just rotted away.
They rotted away, especially here in the Midwest.
Sure.
There's a reason they're all in California. The weather was better for
dry. They don't like water. But you've really kept this very correct.
As much as I could. We do drive it, but still 6 volts, still running the original 218 3-speed transmission. We changed the gear just to make it a little bit more highway friendly in the rear end.
It's probably normally about 45 top speed.
45 top speed with a little bit different gear. I'm able to cruise at 55, 60 miles an hour. The problem is it drives like a pickup truck.
Exactly.
So you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, they do kind of wander a bit,
They do. It
so
definitely
does this
wanders.
fold up, or this seat, or does it come out?
These seats can both come out. The back one, you just tilt them forward and they slide out. They're pretty easy to take out. It's rare to actually find them with all 3 seats, because a lot of times later in life, they just became a pickup truck to somebody.
Yeah, they're a cargo vehicle.
But I was lucky enough, this was in Rossville, Illinois, and the gentleman was a farmer, and they stashed it away in their barn, and most of the parts were with it. It was in fairly good, wood was good, metal was bad because it rusted away, but the wood was good, and we were able to put her back together.
That is just amazing. All the way back here, it's wood everywhere.
It's wood everywhere. And what a lot of people don't understand, the panel that you've seen on the outside, is the same panel you see on the inside. So that's not real thick. That's
Oh, you
only
mean
a quarter.
So I mean, it really is that thick.
That's what you see on the outside, the same as the inside.
Wow.
So it's very thin. It's not like there's a lot of structure to them. Same way with the tailgates. Everything you see there, that panel you see on the outside is the same panel you're seeing on the inside.
So this is what you started with?
This picture here is what I started with.
The wood is pretty good in that
It wasn't
still.
bad. The picture's deceiving. All the metal was pretty well toasted.
It's just stunning, and it's so doggone tall. It's just amazing. It caught my eye because I mean, it's hard to miss, frankly.
Sure.
Now you also have that Plymouth right over there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Plymouth. It came out of the same barn. It was a brother and a brother-in-law. I bought them about 15 years apart, but I first seen it sitting on a trailer in the same barn the day I went and bought this one, and I bought a couple other cars that day, and he wouldn't sell me the Plymouth, and I'm like, but I want the Plymouth. And then
I'll be back.
Yeah. and honestly, what happened was I went back and took the gentleman in his 90s now that had the Woody, took it back, let him go for a ride, took him around town, let him show it off to the neighbors. His brother-in-law goes, hey, you know what? You want that Plymouth? He goes, if you promise to put it back original.
Boy, isn't this the best show in the world?
I love this show.
I mean, it's so much fun.
It's a great community. It gives something for this town. They give, the money's donated back to the area. And what a piece of history.
Oh
here.
my gosh. It goes back to the 20s, I think. I mean, it's just
teens.
Yeah, and like the other teens.
Yeah,
not
19,
these teens,
yeah.
the 19 teens.
Yeah, 19 teens, yes.
Yeah, it's just awesome. Well, let's see what powers this Woody.
Sure. There we are.
Okay, so basically a flathead, right?
Yeah, it's a all original 218 6-cylinder. They used them from the mid 40s all the way up until right about 51, 52. This one's just a
Single barrel carb.
single barrel carb, nothing fancy to them. Attached to a 3-speed transmission. They were offered in a 3-speed or a 4-speed. Most of the 4-speeds were in the mountain range areas out west. You'll see.
And that just gave you a double load. didn't
Just
it?
gave you a double load.
That was a wall
hang,
climber,
yep,
yeah.
Drivetrain's basically all stock.
It's just beautiful. And it's so appropriate because your last name is Woods?
Woods. with an S,
So I bet you go by Woody.
I go by Woody.
And you have a Woody.
My dad drove this into me. My dad was a car guy for years and always wanted a Woody, never had that opportunity. I came across the opportunity and had the means to restore it and the ability to restore it. So it's supposed to be a father-son project, and my dad got to enjoy it. My dad has since passed, but he did get to enjoy the Woody, and that really was the whole key to this dream. This car will never go anywhere. I'll pass it on to my son.
It's just fantastic. 1949 Dodge Carryall.
Correct.
Woody.
Yes, sir.
Woody, you're my hero.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's awesome.